Coach.
Yes, congratulate Seton Hall on a really good kind of gutsy, December win. A lot of respect for their team. I think there's, legitimate. I've always thought there's a dozen or so teams when the season starts that have a real chance to win a national championship. I think, they're one of those teams. They're a lot like us. They got a bunch of things I think they're trying to figure out as we are. But great home court advantage. I've never been here and played Seton Hall before. I've coached here a couple of neutral site games, but had a great environment. Thought it was a good college basketball game. They've been in 4 of these. Tonight's their 4th kind of one possession game down the stretch. I think that showed. Tonight's our first kind of one possession, last 4 minutes of the game. Tougher team will win type game. I think that showed. So great learning opportunity for us. We had an objective on what we wanted to try to get done in the last 4 minutes, and we just didn't get it done. And I think you got to give Seton Hall credit for that. But I'm proud of our guys. I thought we responded. We played hard. We had a chance to win tonight, and we get a 3 in the corner and it doesn't go in. They get a 3 up top, it goes in. It's just kind of one of those games. I thought the first team was 70 would win it, and we just didn't have enough offense down the stretch. And when our offense was just struggling, the defense couldn't pick it up.
Questions for Tre Mitchell, please. Go ahead.
Tre, good game tonight. How's the adjustment coming from UMass to Texas?
First, I appreciate it, but the adjustment is just just taking my game to the next level. There's better teams, more physicality, bigger players, better players, and it's just the adjustment has just been me developing my game, playing harder, getting in better shape, understanding how to play with my teammates in an efficient way that we can all succeed.
Tre, they lost their big guy Ike in the first half with an ankle injury. How did their front line kind of adjust in the second half? And it seemed like you were having a pretty easy time scoring in the paint. And how did they defend without the big guy?
They were a little bit more active, I would say, but their number 4, I believe, was in foul trouble early. So I saw the adjustment he made with his game, and he was just trying to wall up instead of block shots because he didn't want to get any more fouls. But that's just part of the game. You kind of take what the game throws at you. The 7-footer, however tall he is, but respect to him. He's physical. He's very strong, but it's unfortunate that he had to twist his ankle early in the game. But their adjustments they were just a little bit more active, I think.
Tre, you played 2 really tough teams on the road. How would you compare the environment from Gonzaga to Seton Hall?
I feel like at Gonzaga, it felt like they were a little bit closer to us, and I felt like because their student section kind of lined the whole court, so you hear them on both ends of the court the entire game. But here, the environment was kind of just as wild, and there were those moments where it was deafening and you couldn't hear anything. But respect to both of the programs and their fan base that they've created. It definitely brings a little bit of a home court advantage to the teams.
Is it a pleasure to play against that type of environment where everybody's cheering against you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just from when we walked in for warm-ups, they started immediately throwing their horns down, and I just think it's just kind of funny because you don't see any other schools with their own little hand gesture or something like that. Or it really shows you how much the respect Texas actually has everywhere that they go.
2 last ones for Tre. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Questions for Coach?
Thank you. Good game.
Thank you, Chris. It's obviously a work in progress for everybody the first month or 2 of the season. For you personally, with having a group together for the first time, where so many of you guys in your rotation have had primary roles, what is it like just in terms of that challenge to kind of figure out a rotation and kind of figure out role allocation?
Yeah, it's just not so sure it's not going to be like that every year. The portal, college basketball has changed. I think that's one of the challenges in coaching today. I think the biggest thing in coaching is adapting, and we'll adapt to it. But there's no question we're a work in progress. Not changing my tune right now. We played 2 road games. Number 1, Gonzaga, and I don't care what they're ranked. This is the top 10, 15 team, no doubt about it right now. I mean, you guys saw them. You know, we learned a lot from game 1 to game 2, from Gonzaga to Seton Hall. We actually obviously played better tonight. You know, we go 1 for 13 from the 3. We make a couple shots, then, you know, it might be a different feeling here right now. So I think the important thing for us is just each game's a lesson. Again, I don't want to speak for these guys, but they've been in 4 of these games. You know, is it Michigan, Cal, Ohio State, and Texas. We've been in 1. Tonight's the first night. So we had an objective down the stretch. We practice it all the time in practice, but until you get out here and taste it, what it's like, last 4 minutes of a 1-possession BCS game. So it's a great learning opportunity for us tonight.
Chris, you pride your team's DNA on playing hard and being tough. How would you quantify that sort of skill set with the Seton Hall team, how hard they play and tough?
Oh, they're right there. Yeah, they always have been. We played these guys a couple years ago in the Garden. I got to know Coach a little bit on the Under Armour trips, and no, this is a hard playing team. You know, no doubt about it. If you're going to mention us in that conversation, which I appreciate, thank you. I think you got to put coaches' teams in there too, and they battle.
Chris, you really shortened your rotation, especially in the second half. I think only 6 guys played double-figure minutes. Did you kind of like what you were seeing from the 5 guys on the floor for the most part?
Yeah, those are the things coaches have to live with. You know, those are the decisions you make in the game, and just have to go back and look at it. You know, the film doesn't lie. I thought we had a couple of guys that weren't playing their best basketball. And we can't absorb mistakes. You know, a couple of mistakes add up, and the game's over. So we'll just have to look at it. But there's no doubt about it. We need to play more players. We need to let our depth help us a little bit. So those were coaching decisions tonight, and we'll have to study that and see. But yeah, I'd like to play more guys, no doubt, because I thought our guys were a little tired there at the end. I thought the extended timeout where we had a problem with a book or something, you know, that gave those guys a little bit more rest. And so the last 4 minutes of the game, that was a factor in it too. You know, we're normally going to sub one more time that last 4 minutes. That was obviously an extended break. You know, I don't know what was going on, but it seemed like we were out there for 15 minutes.
Chris, Bryce Aiken was 0 for 7 when he hits that 3 late in the game. What do you think of that from a defensive standpoint? Get that shot.
I mean, it sucked from where I was sitting. You know, I didn't like that. You know, I wish one of our 12 shots that we shot would have gone in. We were 1 for 13, but he's a special player. I love college basketball. I watch it as much as anybody. So what he did at Harvard speaks for itself. And then he's tough to guard. He's a one-on-one player. I don't want to speak for Coach, but I thought our half-court defense was pretty good tonight. Didn't seem like to me they could really get into much. And so he was just playing ISO basketball. And that time of game, when you play Seton Hall, in my opinion, it's going to be 14 or 1. And we had an objective, what we were going to do on those 2 guys. Both of them hit a couple tough shots. And we had a couple bad fouls, a couple undisciplined fouls. You know, we wanted to make them make shots. We didn't want to let them make free throws. So we had a couple costly mistakes in the last 10 minutes of the game on that as well.
Chris, is this one of the deeper teams you've seen? I mean, he's got 9 or 10 guys he can play there.
Yeah, for sure. The 2 point guards, 2 totally different dynamic players. One's more of a back you down, one's quick. You know, all conference wings, 14, 22, 15's a game breaker with shots, 4 quality bigs. And we'll wish big fella a speedy recovery. I went down there and shook his hand, made sure he was okay. He told me he just rolled it or something, but you know, I don't ever like that. I like to play games where the best players are on the court. That's the way the sport's supposed to be. So he'll be on our team prayer tomorrow. And hopefully he'll make a recovery. So a lot of respect to the Seton Hall team. I thought it was a game that could have gone both ways. We just got to play a lot better down the stretch. For us, it's a learning curve.
One last one.
You shot 56% in the first half, but down to 32% in the second half. Was there something that Seton Hall did defensively that made a difference there?
You know, film doesn't lie. I'm always amazed how Coach Knight can sit up here and tell you exactly what happened. I'm not Coach Knight. But I think from where I was standing, we got some good shots. And basketball's a game where you got to make some shots. And on nights where you don't, there's still a way to win. You got to manufacture some offense off your defense. We didn't get many easy baskets tonight. We didn't get many baskets off our defense. So I think give them credit. The second half, they made it harder to score around the basket. We get those paint touches late. We just kind of got stuck in there. The plan was to throw it out, and there really wasn't anybody to throw it out to. So, for sure, I'm not going to sit here and say that we didn't play as well as we wanted to because of us. We got to give them credit. You know, we played one of the top 10, 15 teams in the country. In my opinion, tonight, we're playing on their home floor in front of a great crowd. We got a chance to win the game in the last 4 minutes. We just didn't play well enough. first time our group's been in this situation, so we'll get better. And I predict we'll win some games like this sooner than later.
Thanks all, appreciate your time.
Thanks.